Okay, now we shall discuss tenses. Let's see what are the tenses. Tenses talks about time, which happened, which happens, which will happen. That we have three tense forms: present, past and future. These are the three tense forms, and the three tense forms which are present, past and future. All these three tense forms has four subs, that are simple, continuous, perfect and perfect continuous. So these are the tense forms. Altogether it makes 12 tense forms. So 3 into 4, it makes 12 tense forms. Now let's talk about each tense forms detailedly. As we have discussed 12 tense forms, the first tense forms simple present, and I have written here 4 main usages of simple present tense. The first one is to describe or to denote the universal truth. What could be the universal truth? Universal truth are common or same in everywhere in the world. Universal truth, as we know the old cliche example, the sun rises in the east, or we can say the milk is white. Wherever we go, the milk is white always. So that could be to denote the universal truth, the simple present tense is used. The habitual action, the second usage comes habitual action. What we do as a habit or regular action. I go to church every Sunday. I go to church every Sunday. So that comes as a habitual action. What comes the present action? To describe the present action, what happens right now. The vehicle move, the fan rotates, students study, the teacher takes the class. These are the present action to denote. And the last one is very important, to describe the future tense, a future action. Once an action is desired to happen, or once an action that is planned to be done, and the last one, future, is a usage that is done with simple present tense. To denote the future action, once an action is ready to happen, or once action is planned to be done, if it is sure to happen, we can go for the future tense. To denote the future tense, we can use the fourth usage, that is future. How it comes? I plan to go to Bangalore, or I go to Bangalore tonight. I go to Bangalore tonight. It could be a good example to denote the future usage that is in simple present tense. Once an action is desired to happen, and I'll take your attention to the structure here, that is subject, verb, object, a very root form of a sentence. Subject, verb, object. We discussed this one earlier. S stands for subject, V stands for verb, and object. I go to Bangalore tonight. I go to Bangalore tonight. And that's how we complete the simple present tense. Now we are going to see what is present continuous, an action which is happening at the time of speaking, an action which happens, which is going on now, a continuous action. To denote the continuous action, we use present continuous. What is happening now. And the second usage comes as a future, to denote with going to, the phrase verb going to. I am going to meet her in the evening. I am going to meet her in the evening. It sends as future, but we used the tense present continuous. I am going to meet her in the evening. Or what is happening now? We are learning. We are learning. And the format, subject, am or is or are, that we discussed as be forms in the present tense. Then verb, ing, and object. So subject, am, is, or, verb plus ing plus object is the structure of simple present continuous tense. And the third one, present perfect. Present perfect tense talks about an action which is completed but has an effect now. It doesn't take a specified time. Present perfect tense doesn't take a specified time, but talks about an action which completed but it has got an effect now too. The format is subject, has or have plus third form of the verb and object. We should be very careful. Here there comes a change. Third form of the verb is used and have and has according to the number of the subject. Singular or plural is decided, has or have is decided, and taken the verb's third form. We have watched a movie. It can be very recently because it's not in a long past, it is a very closer past, or it is in the near past. The action completed very recently. We have watched a movie. And the last tense forms in present tense is present perfect continuous. Present perfect continuous tense talks about an action which started in the past and is continuing now. The action started in the past, which has an effect completed in the past and which has an effect now is present perfect. Present perfect continuous talks about an action which started in the past, continued, continuous, and still it continues. And how the tense structure is, and it is subject, has or have as per the number of the subject, take, has or have, been, verb and its gerund form, verb plus ing plus object. An example I can tell is, I have been reading a book for a month. For example, I started in the past to read the book, started in the past and not yet finished, and again to finish, it continues. I have been reading a book. Second tense forms past tense. We start with the simple past. Simple past talks about or denote an action which is already completed, a perfectly completed action. It can be in the long past or it can be in the near past. To talk about a completed action, we use simple past tense, or simple present tense is there which talks about present action which is already over. We talk about an over action, that is simple past we use. Subject, the second form of the verb and object. Remember, subject second form, verb's second form is used over here and followed by object. For example, I went to the market yesterday. So here I stands for subject, yes. Went is the second form of the go. Go is a root verb, went is a second form, and market object comes. So I went to the market yesterday. Yesterday stands for time. And we shall see now here past continuous, an action which was happening sometime in the past, or to denote an ongoing action that was happening sometime in the past. For example, it was raining 4 to 5 yesterday. Yesterday, a time 4 to 5, the action was on move. It was raining, a continuous action. 4 to 5, the action was on move. So, to make past continuous sentences, we use this format. Subject, S stands for subject, was away, B forms past, verb, ing, and object, which takes the subject. So, it was raining 4 to 5 yesterday to denote a past action which was happening sometimes in the past. Past perfect. Past perfect is the tense which talks about an action which is perfectly completed before another action happened. So, there are two action happens. To describe the first action, we use past perfect. For example, we might have heard an example like the train had left the station before I reached. So train left happened first before I reached. To talk about an action which happened first before the other, or to describe an action which took place long past. That's also possible in present for a past perfect tense. The structure for past perfect is subject, had, V3, object. So had plus V3 is to be remembered to make past perfect tenses.